Welcome everyone. Welcome to
Recording in progress.
another day of Be Agile Scrum. We are week two now, and this is day one. We are gradually getting started, gradually shifting the gears towards the deep learning. And before begin, let me remind you that this is going to be 8 weeks long journey, and in this 8 weeks long journey it is quite possible to get drift away to another topic and not remain connected. And for that very reason, we have something that will make us more focused, to which we call it as code of honor. Okay, and you will find such code of honor or core value in every various technical topic, non-technical or functional topic, and not only always related to uh, 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 a learning track, but also to some framework as well. You happen to see the core values, and for that very reason, let me get started today's track with the reminder to for all of us that how this code of honor will make us more focused and more productive towards the goal we have. And before we get started, let me quickly ask you that for what reason you all are here? Who can tell that?
For placement.
To get
To
jobs.
get
Okay,
placement.
thank
Get
you so
placed.
much for being so much super clear, because yeah, many answer I do get as for learning or learning the track. Yes, you're very much right that yes, our core purpose is to get placed, not just training. Training is just a milestone in between before we get placed. Having said so, let me quickly start sharing my screen, and do confirm if you all can see the screen. Can you all see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you so much. So remember the very first code of honor, and I'm glad that this code of honor Amit has articulated well the way it was today. So let's repeat as reminder. The number one is to show up live. Why? Because we are learning Agile is full of ceremonies that demand you to remain punctual, remain highly committed, and be on time. When you do this, you need to practice it, because once you get placed as a Scrum Master, it will be quite easy for you to replicate wherever you get placed. Why you need to repeat it? Because it is also said that how you do anything is how you do everything. The second one says that be on this path the full stack student. It means that one who does all the assignment, do self-research and repeat whatever you learn. And third one says that take the full responsibility. Full responsibility means of your success, of your failure, and please complete what you start. Please finish what you start. You need to take the full responsibility of these all three elements. Why? Because of why for failure? Because failure ultimately becomes the trail for the success. When you take the responsibility, you will get its corrected version as well, and eventually it hit towards success. The fourth one says that to do so, you need to have continuous learning mindset that head you towards the positive minded, and more positive minded you will become, you will find yourself going more complaint free. More complaint free you will become, you will find yourself loaded in more gratitude. Gratitude leads to happiness is today's new productivity, and that is the demand of corporate. And the fifth one says that on this path, because you are coming from the various background, various learning, and way means loaded experience as well, that requires to be unloaded to gain fresh. And for that very reason, kindly keep ego away of already knowing knowledge on the path of learning, so that you can go more spiritually grounded, means your happiness level increases on the path of growth, and you can embrace it in a better manner with full of insight in whatever you are learning. And eventually you are doing these all activity to earn more, and to earn more, always remember, whatever you want more of in your life, start giving away portion of that out from your life, inside your life itself. When I say so, it means that in case you are already earning, start giving away at least 5% or 10% of it to the causes where you believe in. And in case you are not already earning, and start to have intent, if in case have intent to have more earning, then at least start having intention of charity, of doing, giving away at least 5% of 10% whenever you will start earning. Why? Because when you give, you grow. When you receive, you may survive. And I'm sure you are not willing just to survive, but to grow. And when you do so, just don't do it for the sake of growth, but also to inspire others in your surrounding. And while you do so, remember to appreciate what you do, what others do for you, and even what does not happen to you. Remember that is letting you grow towards the better version of your own self. So appreciate, when you appreciate, that appreciates you back. Before I talk about the sixth code of honor, that is to increase receptivity, and that for that I generally talk about adapt the 30 days challenge. And this is a one audio program, and that you can take part in it, listen to it for another 30 days. If you think that you can take it, you can do it, I would recommend take the lead and take the challenge and participate it in it by your own, because the more you will do it every single day, just spending 20 minutes by putting this audio program in 2x mode, you will see how the every course of your life will start getting changed towards the positive output, and you get to experience to get started in this. And the second one is that mm, uh, when you are getting into deep learning, you need to get started with the golden quadrant of learning. What is golden quadrant of learning? Before you take a deep dive into the deep learning, remember to declare that with the anchor, and then get into deep learning. And once you have learned, after 24 hours and within 24 hours, you are going to draw whatever you have learned. Okay, using pen and paper, not the digital notes. And once you have done that, then summarize it in a way that even 5 years old can understand. The drill, that once you will summarize in a less than 90 seconds of video, you are going to post it in WhatsApp group. So let's get started with declaration with the anchor. But before we get started with the declaration with the anchor, I have a quick question over here. Anyone here for the first time attending this? Anyone here, it's your day one for you?
Dear Gauravji, this is Madhvi here. This is my first day.
Okay, thank you so much, Madhvi, for sharing that. Madhvi, can you quickly introduce yourself, your name, from where you are connecting, your educational background, and do you have any kind of professional experience or working experience?
Yes, Gauravji, this is Madhavi. I'm right now in Atlanta, Georgia, and I have done my Bachelor's of Business Administration back in India, and I have experience in managing multiple projects. Big. The projects in the sense, it's like 250K worth of music programs all over US, and I've done multiple shows. And not only that, I have also worked as a payroll manager with ADP. And I have been in nonprofit for the past 13 years. I have dedicated my time only in nonprofit, which was my full-time job until now. So I'm part of Seva International Atlanta, as well as Tamil Sangam. I'm chairman in Tamil Sangam too. With that, I would like to take my career next step because my kids are all grown, and it's time for me to accomplish my goals. Thank you.
Awesome, Madhvi. Thank you so much for sharing that. Everyone, you can please type in the chat window, welcome Madhvi, and welcome Madhvi for business analysis and Agile Scrum track. So thank you so much for sharing that. Let's get started to understand what I was talking about, declaration with the anchor. So I'm sure that all of you might have seen, ships standing at harbor with the, with the help of anchor. And if anchor is there, then only it can stand tall. Okay, stand tall at the harbor. And likewise, there is something inside our body, inside our mind, that is our focus. Okay, if it is not given any anchor, that may drift away in the ocean of thought. Okay, do you all agree with this? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. And for that reason, we need to give this ship as well an anchor. And because it is part of our body, we need to give an anchor that is part of our body itself. So that and that's very reason what we are going to give is the anchor as a part of body movement. And body movement is nothing but is going to be a quick self high five or the clap, and then declare, okay, what you see is selected at the screen as a statement. Repeat this after me. So can you all see this the selected statement on your screen? The
Yes, sir.
statement which I have selected. So how we are going to do is that at the count of 3, I will just count 1, 2, 3, and then clap. Then you are going to clap and then repeat after me when I will read this statement. So all are you with me? Ready for the declaration, everyone? Say yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you
sir.
so much. So let's get started. 1, 2, 3, and clap and repeat. I'm a quick learner.
I'm a
I'm
quick
a
learner.
quick learner.
What others can learn and master,
What others can learn and
And
master,
master.
I too can do that.
I too can do that.
Who can do that?
One more time with me, please. 1, 2, 3, and clap. Because I'm an awesome learner.
Because I'm
Because
an
I'm an
awesome
awesome
learner.
learner.
Today's learning is going to be
Today's
Today's learning is going to
be
be
super duper easy to me.
super
duper easy to me.
Yes, it is going to be because you said so. And remember, the anchor is very, very important because you know now the drill behind the anchor. Okay. So if you are doing this declaration without anchor, be aware of the ship of focus may drift away. And eventually you may wonder at the end if you have not put the anchor for this. So anyways, having said so, remember how we are going to get connected, everyone. And Madhvi, in case you are looking at it for the first time, you can take the screenshot of it once I'll complete it. Sunday and Monday is going to be the tech session, that is 9:30 p.m. EST. Tuesday, you need to attend RRP session, means reference ready resume preparation session. That is done by your HR team, where you will find, Devji will be conducting this session. It is never ever recorded. It may sound, it is always getting repeated every single time, and it has only to do with your what you call your profile, your resume preparation, your profile optimization, your placement, your profile marketability. Why you need to repeat in case it is every single time the same? So the reason behind that, it increases your visibility that yes, you are still here, still you are thinking that you are going to get your job. It increases your credibility to know that yeah, you are in this that you are not here just a minute. I'll have to put someone on the mute. Okay, thank you so much. So yes, it increases your credibility, and more credible you become that you are in need of it. Eventually, your HRs will get the sense that you need to get marketed more and more. In case you are not there, it means that you don't need it, and that's the reason in every single session you need to be there. Here, I want to just remind all of you, anything other than training, you need to reach to your HR. Anything other than training, where you are going to reach to, everyone?
Trainer.
HR, not to trainer.
Sorry.
Anything other than training will be conducted with your one point of contact, that is your HR, other than training. And Wednesday is going to be your assignment day, where you will be doing unsaid assignment as a summary, what we have said into the golden quadrant of learning, that 90 seconds of your summary should come into WhatsApp group. Many reference you will get to see, and you are seeing the said assignment where I'll be asking you certain activity to do. That assignments you can choose to do on Wednesday of Sunday. On Thursday, you can choose to do assignments from Monday, and also remember to repeat the RRP session. Yes, you need to repeat. I can understand it may be really challenging and sometime it may sound boring if you need to listen to it again and again, but can't help until you get blessed. So please take care of that. Friday, you can choose to repeat whatever you have learned, do the assignment, still it's pending, and do research work on whatever you have learned to expand it further, and come back with any question if you have, so that you can get its answer on next Sunday. Saturday, you can choose to relax and have a breather day. So having said so, do we all agree to follow all this code of honor and the days when we are going to get connected for our own growth? Say yes if you all agree with this.
Yes.
Yes, thank you
Yes.
so much for your enthusiasm. I totally appreciate. I appreciate at this weekend on Sunday you showing up. That really brings the brings the confirmation that you are here just not for learning but also for getting place. So thank you so much for showing up on weekend at this time. That is the time when you are to relax, and you are to in the sleeping hour you are showing up. So for that very reason I appreciate that. So last time you saw, what did you see last time? Who can tell me? What do you remember from last time?
Agility and flexibility,
Agility,
agile manifesto,
Agile manifesto, and
agile principles, 12 principles of
yes.
agile.
12
Awesome,
principles of
awesome.
Agile.
Thank you so much, Ponu, for sharing that. Thank you so much for confirming, everyone. So yes, it was Agile principle, and in this, we need to know about the frameworks. Did we talk about framework? I believe we didn't. So let's quickly see, and let me quickly tell you to make it more easy. Imagine you are at the ground floor or in the basement of a building, okay, and you need to get to the top of that building, okay, and there could be the various ways to reach to the top of the building. With me so far? Say yes if you can understand and hear me well, that what I am telling.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Yes,
So what
sir.
exactly happened in this building? There are various methods to reach to the top. One, you can choose the steps to go. Another, you can choose the uh, lift to go. And another way is that you can choose escalator to go to the top floor. Do you all agree that these methods you can choose to reach to the top? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. But again, whatever the method you will choose, it will have a different, ways to reach to that. Say, for example, if you are choosing steps, that steps will lead you to another direction to again take that step to grow further, go further. Again, escalator may stop at certain floor to go to catch another escalator from somewhere else. Escalators, steps, and lifts are the methods, but those methods will give you certain framework. Using that and to framework, we can see that, say for example, there are lift. Using one lift, you need to go to, say for example, it's a 100-floor long building, 100-story long building, and what you need to do is that on every first floor you need to get to choose some different kind of capsulated lift, where one lift will take you to all odd floors. Another one may take you to all even floors. Another example could be that there are 4 types of capsulated lift from the first floor, where one goes up to 17th floor, one goes up to 19th floor, and one goes from 19th floor to the 30th floor, and the fourth one goes from 30th floor up to the topmost 100th floor. So you saw there is a method to reach to the top, but again inside that methods there were multiple ways using that you could reach to the top floor. Likewise, in Agile, what exactly happens? Your objective is to deliver the software faster. What is your objective, everyone, in Agile?
Deliver the software faster.
Awesome. That's brilliant. That's the right answer. But to deliver that software faster, Agile is one of the method, and another method also you saw last time. And what was that method that you saw last time?
Waterfall.
That's
Waterfall.
absolutely right. Waterfall. So these are the method, but inside that method, again, there are frameworks. So one framework that you see over here, where you see there are multiple pieces of requirement, to which we call it as a user stories. What we can call it as?
User stories.
User
User
stories.
Yes, the multiple pieces of requirement, users requirement broken down into the smaller requirement, then it is called as user story. Until you don't start it, it will remain visible, which are highly prioritized, where the team or the product owner agrees that take it into consideration to start. They will be parked inside to-do column on a board. Then you will eventually take one to start working upon, then that will be visible to move inside in progress column. Okay, with me so far, say yes if you are able to get it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And whatever the broken down user story or piece of requirement that has been almost completed in case of development, that will be sent to the testing phase. Okay, once testing is done, that will be again pulled down inside the done column. So you see that there are these four columns are very important. Sometime literally you will see in group of working zone, this is maintained in a whiteboard. Okay, however, nowadays people are distributed geographically, so such board are presented digitally as well, to which we call it as a Kanban board. What do we call it as, everyone?
Kanban board.
Exactly, that's right, Kanban board. So Kanban board is also a Kanban framework. So Kanban framework, you need to remember where these four columns are important: to do, in progress, testing, and done. That brings the visibility of the pieces of the requirement, how these are moving from left to right. Is it clear to you all? What is Kanban board and
Yes.
what do we display over here? So that's the framework, Kanban framework. That is one of the framework. There is another framework as well. So look at this framework, to which we call it as a extreme programming, or say pair programming. So for that, I will take it to another slide. So just give me a second and let me bring that into another slide. Yeah. So it is also known as pair programming. What it is known as? Pair programming. So here, what is important? The complete journey here, it becomes as, and why it is not so visible? I believe it is not visible to me, or wait a second. Okay, just give me a second, guys. Just give me a second. Yeah. So now it's better, I guess. So yeah. So this is pair programming is more focused towards the feedback and planning. So it always starts with release plan, where in every single month, what all are your release dates would be, that you plan it during the release plan. Then it goes towards the iteration plan. In iteration plan, you may decide for how many weeks when your delivery will be done, and what all the acceptance criteria you will meet. Acceptance means against the user story, what all the testing you will perform, and every single day to achieve that, you will have a stand-up meeting for 10 minutes to 5 minutes. It will happen every single day, and for every single day, whenever you will work in the pair where one of the coder will be working with you. So that is also called as pair negotiation, and that happens every single hour. That what all the development or coding has been done by a developer, that will be checked by your pair person, paired coder, and he will review that and will give the feedback, and vice versa. And then what happens while you are doing so, you will also decide some testing scenarios that you will be against that you will be testing whatever you have developed, and then you will again go back and give feedback to your coder, and on which the line of code has been developed. So if you'll see, the entire journey start with coding, then pair programming. In a pair you are designing a program, then you unit test that, and when you unit test that, then just a second, Amit, just give me a second, I'll be coming back. When you unit test that, then you will get into the negotiation, that what you can adopt, what you can decide to leave, that is unnecessary code, line of code, to which we call it as LOC as well. And when it is done, then you get into stand-up meeting, explaining what you have done, and telling that what you're planning to do, and checking that it has been your test team or BS can check whether it is meeting the acceptance test criteria or not. And then you ship that whatever you have developed, if it meets the criteria, and then you see that you are meeting the release plan. So this is one of the framework to which we call it as PP or XP. Okay, extreme programming. This can be part of extreme programming as well. So yes, Amit, you had some question, you can ask now.
Yeah, so because this slide is not totally clear, I could get up till pair negotiation. I see that it's probably hourly kind of a concept, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but below unit test, I can't read what it is, and below pair programming, I can't read what it is. So could you explain those two things, like with the time frame in mind?
Okay, so this is release plan. You're clear? This is month, weeks, days.
Yeah,
then
I can see that. Needs, weeks, days,
1 day,
daily, hourly.
Yeah, so hourly, and this even so no problem, even if you don't get it, but you are getting the idea how it is flowing, right?
Yeah. I just wanted to know that, because everything had kind of a concept behind it, right? Like the
I
release plan
understand.
had needs behind it. Everything had kind of a timeline or a concept behind it. So I wasn't able to understand what's behind unit test and pair programming.
Okay, so unit test means you are just delivering a module. So I don't know whether it is module or something else. So one module you are. Aruna, you want to say something? Yeah.
I can.
Yeah, no, sir, please go ahead. And after that, I have a question.
So that you can understand, but don't worry if you don't get it, because I'll tell you that what exactly it may be, but I'm also not able to read that. So that's the reason.
Looks like minutes and seconds.
Sir, can you please say once again?
Okay.
Sir, can you please explain once more?
Okay, so see what happens, how it
sir,
starts.
if you could reduce this slide, we might be able to read those two things a bit better.
Okay, let me try that for you. Okay, so see if you could. I really don't know. So I think it's a minute and seconds.
Minute and seconds. That's
yeah. So anyways, never mind. So Arle's thing, unit test. Yeah. So let me quickly tell you. See, the thing is, any journey starts with a one line of a code. How much you are coding it. The moment you are coding it, you will be coding it in the pair, where one coder would be sitting with you. Okay. And once you have coded that, then you need to test that at your local machine, if a coder is there and he is doing that. And when you have tested that against your identified scenario, then with your review partner, your your partner who is coding with you, to each other you give the feedback that what can be removed, what can be taken inside. So that becomes the pair negotiation. Now it is done, then you are going to talk about it every single day in the daily stand-up meeting. Once it is done, eventually it will go to the testing team and for business analysis, for quick review how you have developed, and that will be tested against some criteria to which we call it as a acceptance criteria. Okay, and once acceptance criteria is met, then it will be delivered on a certain date, certain day, after certain interval, to which we call it as a iteration plan, whether after a week or 2 weeks. So that has been the part of iteration, and the date will be announced well in advance. On that day it will be released. So when you will see that, when it comes to the planning, what all gets done in advance, in the release planning, the release date will be declared. In the iteration plan, you will define the interval of your sprint or time length of one work done, that during for how long your one iteration would be, okay, of software delivery. And then you will also be ready with the acceptance criteria against the user story that is being developed. And you will be also preparing every single day. You will be deciding when and what time and what location, who all will be participating in the daily stand-up meeting. You will defining who all will be working in the pair, and then you will give the instruction that how and what all scenarios related to whatever you are developing, how that can be captured for quick unit test. And then you fix coders in the pair to start working with them, and then the action items get started. Is it clear? The flow is clear, how it goes in planning mode and how it goes in the execution mode. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And let me ask first, Aruna, you had question, you can ask, and then we'll move to Nitish.
Yes, sir. I might sound a little bit silly, but these three common Scrum, Kanban, and Extreme Programming, they all seem to be in the same flow, right, sir? Like, I mean, I don't see like with a little difference in the flow seems to be pretty much the same.
Similar.
So is
Okay.
it like, yeah, similar?
Yeah,
So
that's
is it like,
right. That's right. It may sound similar, but what is additional that you get to see here? So, like as it says that planning feedback loop here, what is important? A quick immediate feedback is very, very important. The name suggests is in pair. Here focus will be more towards the pair, but almost you will see the flow will remain the same. Okay, so why you see that? And that's the reason sometimes you will also find that will be sometimes people make the combination of the framework. Say for example, I am yet to talk about the Scrum framework. You have seen already Kanban. So in some of the delivery, what happens, two of the framework merge together, and that becomes sometimes Scrum one framework. With me so far? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Got
Yes,
it?
sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask
Sir,
now.
so
Nitish.
one
Yes.
second, sir.
Yeah.
So is it like each company uses different types of framework, or like it depends on the company, or like sometimes we need to follow all three? Like how does it work in real life scenario?
Okay. So let me talk about more in detail after I'm done with framework. Okay. The remaining
Sure,
framework
sir.
as well.
No
Okay.
worries.
And
Yeah.
very
Thank you.
good question this is. So, and I want to answer this. So yes, Nitish.
Okay.
Yeah, she has already asked what I actually wanted to ask. So
Okay.
I wanted to know one thing. This framework is Kanban and pair planning is alternate, right? Any one of can be followed. Am I right?
Yeah, anyone can be followed. Anyone can be followed.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
So there are multiple framework. See, this is for the small project. This is for very small team. When we are talking about agile and all. So remember what we are discussing right now. This is to handle the small projects. Okay. Now what you see here, say for example, this is, and let me do this for, because that will be more easy to, for me to explain further. So that's the reason I'm going to do this.
Normally, sir, which one is preferred more, Kanban or pair planning or any other? Normal.
Yeah, so that I'll answer you shortly. Just wait for it. Okay. All right, so this is Scrum framework. What do you see? What happens exactly? Product owner talks about the vision, that what exactly we need to develop, and then what he does the release planning, and he knows already that broken down goals has to be achieved. In a nutshell, he talks about the vision. He transfers the vision he gets from this stakeholder, means the customer, and he shares back with the team, and he decides all the release date with the confirmation of client that on what all they are expecting the delivery, and that delivery will happen in a smaller pieces. If the larger the goal is, larger the requirement is, then the smaller requirement, batch of the requirement will be delivered. Okay, so initially all the requirements, when they are stacked together, piled together, that is called as product backlog. What it is called as, everyone?
Product
Exactly.
Product backlog.
And in that pile of this requirement, from those pile of the requirement, few of the requirement which is on top priority or highest priority from customer point of view are pulled in a meeting. Okay, and to that meeting we call it as a sprint planning meeting. What we call it as, everyone?
Sprint planning meeting.
And in that sprint planning meeting, we discuss those prioritized items with the team, and we define the goal, we define the readiness of that, and we'll see that what should be the goal of that by just working on these decided and prioritized user story to achieve that goal. And once sprint planning is done, meeting is done, then together the entire team get into the execution mode, to which we call it as a implementation as well. And while the execution is going for the few days, daily executions are going on, daily implementation is going on. That's the reason the entire team continues to meet for a very shorter time, that is 10 minutes or 15 minutes, not more than that. And they discuss what they did in last 8 hours, what they are going to do in the next 8 hours, and in case any impediment or any bottleneck they are experiencing to carry further their work. So they continue to do that every single day. They discuss the same thing, and when they when they share the bottleneck or any impediment, is Scrum Master's responsibility to make sure that their impediments are getting removed. Whose responsibility to remove the obstacle, everyone?
Scrum Master.
Scrum Master, that's right. Rest of entire team will continue to participate in daily Scrum. And what exactly happens the day it sounds, whatever you have taken in sprint planning meeting are now ready, then you invite client in a sprint review meeting. So additionally, the client will become the part of sprint review meeting, where the work which has been done for so many days will be demonstrated to the client. With me so far, this is called as sprint review meeting. What it is called as, everyone?
Sprint review meeting.
Yes. Now, sprint review meeting, if you get a green, it means that client says, I'm totally happy with that. So go ahead and ship it. Then while you are shipping this is also called as deployment. Whatever you have developed, that is getting deployed. So it is called as deployment. So you just complete the deployment, and the moment deployment is done, now it's your natural responsibility to pull more requirement into the next sprint planning meeting, right? Agree? Because you have just given few
Yes.
pieces of requirement, right? And again, you need to get into that. But before you get into the next sprint planning meeting, you need to, and Scrum Master has to make sure that you launch a sprint retrospective meeting, you host a sprint retrospective meeting with entire team member, barring the product owner, where you are discussing few items where what did go well, what did not go well, and any learning out of it, and anything that you could have done differently. When you discuss these all, then you take the learning further as an action item and can continue to implement in the sprint planning meeting, in the next sprint planning meeting. Is it clear? The flow is clear to everyone how it goes?
Sir, can you explain sprint retrospective
So
meeting?
retrospective is made up of two words, retro and inspection. Sounds familiar? So retro means
Yeah.
of the past karma that you are
Oh.
inspecting. Okay. So past karma
Okay.
inspection is whatever you have delivered. How did you deliver that? Okay. Did you learn out of those delivery? If not, then just introspect what did not go well. Or if what go well, what did you do well to, what do you do correctly so it went well? So what you did do well will continue to do that, or you could have done that differently, then can you implement that? Or if something that did not go well, what you can do to make it next time go well. So these all things, you can take those things as a learning and you focus on implementing in the next sprint planning. So is it clear now, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Now let's come back to the.
Sir, I have a question. Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Is the word deployment and delivery is the same meaning or? both are
Yeah, you
different?
can take that. I mean, as a verb it will change, but as an objective you can take as the same. Okay, the
Okay, sir.
objective is
Yeah.
same, that you are just passing it further. Okay,
Mhm.
so thank you so
Yeah.
much for asking
Thank you,
that.
sir.
Let's move further. Yeah, Nitish and Vishwa, I had seen your hand was also raised. So Nitish is not there. So Vishwa,
No,
you have some
I
question.
mean, I already asked you that.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Vishwa, you have question? No? Okay.
Yeah, I had a question. So you said that if there is a issue in delivery, then or if there is an issue in the planning or any phase, then the Scrum Master comes into play.
Yeah.
So I know the final product is some kind of IT software.
Mm-hmm.
So do we also need to learn coding and stuff like that?
No,
Because
no.
and
So
if yes, then what kind of language?
yeah, so business analyst and business analyst and Scrum Master does not have to learn any kind of coding. Okay, Vishwa?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, thank you for asking that. So I'm glad that you all are clear now. So now let me just. All right, so this framework is clear now. So what I'm going to do is that just let me group it together so that it will be quite easy for the next time. Okay. So I have explained these three, Kanban and Scrum and XP. There are multiple more methodologies are there, more frameworks are there. So as time permits, we'll continue to see to that. So by saying so, understand what are the best practices. So we have learned so far 4 values, okay? 12 principle, and the very important thing is that collaborate with the customer. So how you can practice it when you are learning. So one thing I really love to do, and you need to take note of it, whatever you are learning, if you can start implementing in every single course of your life, even you can take this training itself as a project, it will be quite easy for you to, embrace those things that you get to practice once you get placed. So that for that very reason, you need to understand every important thing, each important aspect of it. So one is collaborate with customer. Can you think of collaboration with each other? When we are talking about collaboration, I want you yourself to explore that, how you can collaborate that. Work together daily. When you are working, when you are learning, come with the togetherness where you are showcasing the communication, coordination, balance of team members contribution. This is something you can't do, that I need to take care of, that how many team members I can handle, how many candidates I can take into the training, so that I'll do. How you can mutually support that. I was so much impressed by earlier batch, that was batch 13, how everyone came up with the synergy, and empathy was reflected from each one of the team member, where they were really becoming very supportive for each other. So that you can think of, they were really also taking an effort to make sure that how they were just making sure that how they are taking effort to make things easy for each one of the team member. So they were also able to contribute, and that appeared as a leadership skill. So that is very important, and how these things bring more cohesion for each team member. So if your focus is towards that direction, if your focus is towards that direction, uh, and especially when you are at workplace using agile and embracing these as the best practices, it can be visible in daily meeting, and daily meeting itself is a best practice. The tools that you would be using to deliver the output, that is of software delivery, so that can be also taken as a best practices once you get placed as an agilist, or business analyst, or scrum master. And another thing is that your development, your delivery has to be iterative delivery. Is it clear till here, everyone? As a part of best practices, say yes if you are clear with this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so
Yes.
much. Now what is coming is very important for you, and I want you to pay attention, because once you learn over here what exactly I have seen candidates scaling from here. Okay, and that I'm going to share with you. Okay, that is about agility in projects. Okay, I believe you all can see that this slide, agility in projects. So to prove the speed delivery, continuous delivery, small to bulk agility is encouraged in the projects. Reason people have done the certification as. So there are multiple certification when it comes to practicing the agility in the software delivery. Few of them are written over here. Like from PMI, you can do agile certification as ACP, then SAFe certification, Scaled Agile Framework Enterprise, then Kanban certification, DevOps, Scrum in different levels, starting from the foundation you can think of. If you are really interested and it is making more interest to you, you can definitely ask how you can start without paying anything extra. That will be from scrumstudy.org. Okay, it's a scrumstudy.org. If you learn something that makes more sense to you, that you started understanding about Scrum, then I would recommend you to go to scrumstudy.org. Take the foundation course for free. Start boosting your confidence that you are understanding the way of delivery, the responsibility of Scrum Master and all. Once you understand that, you can appear in this examination and you can gain the Scrum Foundation certificate from them. So that makes you more confident understanding the approach. Then you can also do the P4MR certificate. These are the enterprise coach, agile coach, Scrum Advanced Coach certifications are there. So there are various certification. You can choose to do them, and yeah, you can. It's your decision. Why certification will help? that brings more credibility once you get placed or towards your placements. And that's the reason certificates are, generally shout out. But more than, Guru School certification of simple completion, that is diploma of certificate of completion of Be Agile Scrum, that will be okay. That will tell that, okay, you have some connection with it. But doing these certification, that brings more authority, that they have authorized you, that you are agile practitioner. Making some sense when I'm talking about these certifications? Yeah, say yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
If you can. Okay. And the second one, that slide which I'm bringing in front of you, is very, very important, that you can take as assignment as well. That is going to be the said assignment. Okay. So what I'm going to say about it is that first you just have a screenshot of it. Okay. Or in case you are not taking the screenshot and if you wish to refer it in the recording, you can do so. These are the multiple tools. Just now I talked about the best practices, and the best practices I was talking about the tool. Now listen it very, very closely and carefully. I don't want any question to be asked later. Okay, so pay attention. So I want you to decide any one tool amongst these lists. Okay, you will decide one tool. Okay, and what you need to do is that whenever time permits in the coming week, that tool, you are going to create, inside that tool you are going to create your own free account. Okay, and you don't need to be the master in it. Okay, I want your exploratory instinct to appear and awake. I want you yourself to explore that tool, to understand what all happens inside that tool. It means there is no instruction from my end what exactly you are going to do. You are going to do self-learning with this tool. How the self-learning will happen? By the self-exploration. I'm not asking, hey, you do this, you do that, you do that. You just need to decide one tool. It could be Jira, Asana, Trello, anything, Zoho Sprint, Rika Scrum, anything, any one tool that you are going to decide it today. And for next week, you will create one account, and what you will do, you will explore it by your own self and come back and tell me what exactly happened. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes,
sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So no
Yes.
Sounds
guideline,
interesting. Yeah.
no guideline, no instruction, just swim it inside, explore where are the edges, what exactly happens inside it. So any question around it? Are you clear what exactly you need to do?
Yeah.
Yes.
From your side, which one you will prefer us to do? I mean,
Okay, so
Jira,
once you
Asana,
get placed, I'll just quickly name few of the, and everything is competing with each other. So it's not really good to me talking about, but what I have done, I have worked upon on which tools that I am going to talk about. Okay, I have worked on Jira, I have worked on Trello, I have worked on Asana, I have worked in Zoho, I have worked in, Rick. That's it. In rest of other tool, I have not worked it, but these are few tools on which I have worked. Okay, so yeah. So
Sir,
and
I have one question, please.
yeah, go ahead.
So, sir, I have also worked in Asana, but it's in the different industry.
Yeah.
So it's the same Asana for practicing Agile as well?
Yes, it would be the same asana.
I see. Okay.
Okay, so you
Thank
can
you.
choose to work into that. So you decide your own tool, explore that, and come back. Is it clear? Any other question? You're not going to ask me that what exactly we need to do in this tool, because the
okay.
instruction
Can we
has been.
explore more than one?
Yeah, you can definitely. If
Okay.
time permits, if you have, you can do that. So you're not going to ask me what exactly you have to do, because I have already told what is the objective behind it. You are going to
Yeah, we have to
explore by your
explore.
own self. Self-exploration is the objective behind it. Cool. So let's move further. Let me bring the new slide for you. Just give me a second. Any question around it? Is it going easy for you? Are you able to get it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Super.
sir.
Thank you so much for confirming. Let me bring.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, whichever tool like we practice, but it'll be like totally up to the company that what tool they are using, right? So then it depends on the project as well, right? That whatever project we'll be joining will have like a different tool.
Mhm.
So then we'll have to learn that as well, right?
Yeah. So sometime what exactly happens, few tools are not there in the market. Few tools are company customized tool. Okay. So
Okay.
not necessarily you will learn everything. You know everything. So ultimately, sometime you need to learn it later as well. You are on the job learning something. Is it clear? Making sense to you?
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
got it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for asking. So now comes the very interesting point, which I have not touched it. And those were the question from your end. Okay. And those questions were like, someone was asking which framework to use, which framework not to use. See, with this answer of this question, I want to also bring one very interesting thing. I don't know how many of you have already worked in industry, practice agile, and take it as a guideline. And whatever the company you are going to work as very first experience of agile says that I want delivery faster. Okay, the agile practitioner want frequent delivery, quicker delivery, faster delivery. Okay, that has to be objective with me so far. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So in this, what
Yes.
exactly happens? They use certain framework, and while they are using certain framework, um, it happens that they get to choose that how the approach should flow. Okay. In some way, you will see that, a Scrum framework has been taken. Everything starts with sprint planning. I have talked to you that, sprint review has to be there. But sometimes you see suddenly sprint review meeting did not happen. Okay. Core Scrum master is there, and he has to make sure that Scrum is sprint retrospective meeting has to take place. But with the board, it gets decided, can we skip that? Can we not apply Scrum framework in itself? Can we choose some different approach? Now, how the things flow, if it is not meeting the delivery style, it is not meeting the delivery time, to make it more quicker, what different approach on the fly if I can adopt? If sometimes something we need to eliminate, sometimes we need to embrace something new, add something new, we will do it, and we will allow it to happen. And who decides that? Is your product owner and Scrum master decide that, and they let it flow. Sometimes sponsor also decides, sometimes your PMOs level officers and these delegates, they also decide how in one project the approach should be. So what happens if you have learned, you have a core practitioner of agile, and you see every single thing has been practiced with the timeline, daily stand-up meeting goes for 10 minutes. In some cases, what happens, they don't just do the daily stand-up meeting. They start with the agile approach, but they deviate from agility. Okay, they bring some different element of Kanban as well, and they try to discuss it in more detail, and that goes beyond 10 minutes. Okay, so rigidity may come up. Okay, I have not seen such practices in my earlier company, and wherever I started, I'm not going to call it as agile. So you need to remember, agile objective itself is a faster, quicker, and incremental delivery. If it is deviating that, and you are not open enough to embrace the changes, it means that you are not a real agilist. But by now, after knowing this, if you're going to practice anything for the first time, you will be flexible enough towards the strategy, but fixed enough towards the goal. Is it clear to you all? But still, you need to know all the frameworks. Okay, all the framework, maximum framework that has been shot out, and that's the reason I came up with the 3 frameworks. Okay, Scrum, Kanban, and pair programming. So most used are Kanban and Scrum, and sometimes they combine together Scrum and Kanban. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I think 2-3 such questions were there. I took them together and answered all of them. So let's move back towards what I was talking about. So let's more. This question is very important that continue to come up. Is Agile and Scrum are the same? So I want someone to read this for me. The first bullet point. Anyone?
The key difference between Agile and Scrum is that while Agile is a project management philosophy, which utilizes a core set of values or principles, Scrum is a specific Agile methodology that is used to facilitate a project.
Yeah. Thank you so much for reading this out. Yeah, so I have answered already, although the question using the lift and escalator example. But as here in this pointer also, it says that Scrum is a part of Agile. Okay, it's not the same as Agile. Okay, and this framework is used to facilitate a project towards the delivery, towards the faster delivery. So that's what the first bullet says. I want someone to read the second bullet point for me. Anyone else?
Agile is a continuous iteration of development and testing in the software development process, whereas Scrum is an agile process to focus on delivering the business value in the shortest time.
Exactly. Thank you so much for reading this out as well. So yeah, Scrum enables the delivery towards the shortest time. Okay. So S approach is to deliver what? Deliver value. Deliver what, everyone?
Value.
Value. And you need to remember that till I must say, I should not use that. Till end of everyone's life, you must remember this word is very, very important if you are in business and if you decide to be in business and ultimately you are contributing into business using Agile. Okay, so you don't have to deliver software, you have to deliver value. You don't have to deliver products, you have to deliver value. That should be your intention. Okay, and to deliver that value, you will take the approach of Agile. So Agile means continuous development, continuous iteration is there. You are always in touch with your customer. Okay, making some sense. You can use two different things, and when you can have two mindset. One is worker mindset and one is entrepreneur mindset. So when you will go ahead with the entrepreneur mindset, it will more or less will excite you. Okay, it is asking me to use the Agile approach to be in continuous touch with my customer and deliver and give him more value using Scrum framework and remain to be in touch with customer. So for entrepreneur, it may excite, but for worker, it may really not sound really exciting, but may sound boring sometime. That why I need to be in touch with customer, why I need to think about the customer. My boss is asking me to do some work and I need to get paid off that. I will get paid off that. See here, no objective changes. The moment our objective changes, the quality of your work or quality of your delivery will change, and it will eventually impact and or if affect your work as well. So that's the reason the second method will enrich you towards your productivity, towards your performance, and that's the reason I asked you to remember the word value instead of the product. Okay, so making some same sense to you towards the second bullet point, what we have just talked about. Agile is a way, approach, and that Scrum is the framework that enables you through the Agile process to deliver the value. Good with this second bullet point? Any question around it? Okay.
No.
I'll take it. Yeah. Thank you so much for confirming. I want someone to read the third bullet point for me.
Scrum is a framework.
Go ahead.
Scrum is a framework utilizing an agile mindset for developing, delivering, and sustaining complex products with an initial emphasis on software development, although it has been used in other fields, including research, sales, marketing, and advanced technologies.
Yeah. So this question had come to me about Asana, right? That I have used Asana for some other department or in other industry. Can I use that? In fact, today agile approach is being used with the multiple department, multiple industry as well. So and you get to see that research, sales, marketing, and in advanced technologies as well. Scrum framework is being utilized, and also you can see in the education industry, training industry, also it is being used or utilized. However, when you will be utilizing the Scrum framework for the delivery, for the engagement and improvement, you will also get to see behind this agile appears as mindset. Okay, so being the agile mindset, coming up with the agile mindset, whatever you are learning with me as a core value, you literally, when you practice it and you literally take every single thing from the core values, when we start the thing, that automatically brings you more agile minded person. Okay, so you remember which core value I'm talking about, which code of honor I'm talking about, that we start with. Today we started with code of honor, right? If you get the mastery into that, it will be quite easy for you to go more agile minded, because every single project, when you will learn further towards the scaled agile. Today we were talking about various various training programs, like here in this slide you might have seen somewhere, SAFE. Can you all see here? SAFE. So SAFE is a scaled agile framework enterprise. So SAFE is a body of knowledge as well, okay, for agile, and its latest version is 6.0, okay, and it is totally boiling down towards the mindset, so that you can have impactful, effective delivery to the client in a way that you get more and more business. Is it clear to you, all of you, how agile and scrum are different and yet are very, very important to bring more business? Making sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
Sir, I have a couple of questions here,
please go ahead and ask.
Yes, sir, on the first bullet point, in the last sentence, it says Scrum is a specific agile methodology that is used to facilitate a project, right? So Scrum isn't it the only agile methodology? Like, what other methodologies are there other than Scrum in agile framework?
No, so just don't just take this statement for the understanding purpose. Just don't take the literal meaning of it. So when we are talking about agile, consider agile is a methodology. Scrum becomes the framework that you need to remember. But using framework, what we do, so using Scrum framework, you facilitate that. And Scrum is just not only the framework. Scrum is just not only the backing of the agile methodology. Okay.
So, sir, can you name a few just to, like what other
Waterfall is also a methodology in Agile.
Yeah.
So is it?
Yeah. So that's what we spoke yesterday, right? In the last session.
I was comparing waterfall with the agile, like waterfall, agile, Kanban, XP. So these are methodologies. And Scrum is a
no. See, I just clarified in the earlier session as well, and today as well. Agile and waterfall are two methodology. Okay, the Scrum, Kanban, XP, these are the framework.
Oh, okay. Got
it. Yeah.
I
And
see.
everyone is clear with this? Yeah,
yes.
You can say yes, unmute. You all can unmute and say yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you for confirmation. So let's move. I was all talking about, breaking down large requirement into the smaller pieces and delivering that. Do you all remember that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So how it would be. So let's talk about Agile. So this is delivering incremental. You are just completing a program with a small dot, small dot, small dot, multiple dots, and finally you make a circle. Okay. So this is how your smaller requirement is contributing to make a completion towards the delivery. So to which we are going to refer as a incremental delivery, and that's the part of Agile. This is how we deliver in Agile in a smaller pieces. Okay. So that's the approach. So let's understand more in detail. I want someone to read the first bullet point for me, please.
The distinction between sprint and Scrum is that they are two linked but different terms. Scrum is a framework often used in Agile methodology, and sprint is part of Scrum's framework structure. Scrum gives meetings, tools, and roles, while a sprint is a defined period for creating a feature.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading this. So you see now here we are introducing a new term. And what is that?
Sprint.
Sprint, that's right. So when we are talking about Scrum, we are very much clear. Scrum brings various artifacts. So Scrum artifacts are like meetings, tools, roles. So these all things are part of Scrum. But when we are talking about the sprint, sprint means that defined period, okay, in which we are going to create some or develop some feature. So defined period, defined means the defined periods. What else we can call it to? What do we mean by defined period? Who can tell that?
Limited time to get the work done.
Yes, limited time. Limited time, defined time is a limited time. Okay, so good. So it's a more terminology we get to see. So that's the right answer. So let's read more in the second bullet point. I want someone to read the second bullet point for me, please.
Scrum is a subset of Agile. It is a lightweight process framework for Agile development and the most widely used one.
Yeah. So in Agile, the more you will get inside, you will get to learn and see and use more this, terminology as Scrum. And Scrum is a part of Agile. You never get confused. You never, in fact, use that Scrum above the Agile, but Scrum is always part of Agile. As it says, the subset means it will be used inside the Agile, not beyond above the Agile. What is the objective here? So it helps you. It helps you to bring the lightweight software also appear, and in itself the process is very lightweight. It was quite easy for you to understand when I was explaining the Scrum framework. Do you all remember when I was explaining the Scrum framework and you were able to relate that?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you able to recall, everyone?
Yes.
And you all can unmute yourself and answer if you are ready to contribute into the learning. Yeah. Together you can say yes. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for your confirmation.
Yes, sir.
So that's the reason, because it makes the things more lightweighted, not so bulky. So that's the reason it is bringing the ease. It brings the ease, and that's the reason it is widely used terminology inside Agile. I want someone to read the third bullet point for me, please. Anyone?
Particular set of practices that must be followed in order for process to be consistent with the framework. Like the Scrum process, framework requires the use of development cycles called sprint. The XP framework requires pair programming.
Yeah. So I was talking about, thank you so much for reading this out first. So I was talking about XP means extreme programming. This is a framework. It requires people to work in the pair. Okay. However, when we are talking about the Scrum framework, so Scrum framework is a defined process inside a methodology that is Agile, and its objective is in a defined time interval, what all you can bring it out. Okay, what all you can deliver it further. So that defines just a second. So yeah, so that defines your continuous delivery or continuous iteration continue to happen in a defined time interval, and that's the reason it is called as iteration. Okay. And it makes sure inside Scrum, because it is part of Agile, the practices, in fact the best practices, are always followed. In case you are recruited as a Scrum Master, you have to make sure all the Agile practices have been followed. Okay. Unless project does not want it. Okay. So project may ask to change or accommodate some new changes. Unless asked, you are going to stick with the entire process. Clear? I'll take this silence as a clear, and we'll go
Yes,
next slide.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So when we are talking about it, so let me quickly talk further. So I was talking about product backlog. Means a bigger vision has been broken down into the multiple requirement. Okay. A bigger, larger requirement broken down into the multiple requirement. Can a kid have at one go a complete bread loaf? No, of course not.
No.
Yes. So answer is no. And I'm not sure why few are wondering, but from everyone's the answer should be no only. Okay, it cannot. Then what is the easiest way to let that loaf to be consumed? What is the easiest way to consume that?
Make the slice
Cut it into pieces.
Yeah, cut into the pieces, make it slice. So when you make it slicer, then what you will do, imagine those slices have, when you are cutting down, you are exploring few slices. You need to serve these slices one by one or in a batch of 3 every single day, so that one fine day you will make sure that before expiry date, this bread loaf will get finished. And you have brought it, and this is, say for example, more of the fiber this bread loaf is, and your child has to be lured by every single slice, and you are exploring that. The more you are opening up the slice from the loaf, if you are separating it, you are finding it, it is more it sounds more interesting and more delicious. It has good aroma spreading, and it has more fruity on it. So some has less, some slices has less, some has more. Then every single day you have to serve it to your kid, in case you have a kid at home. In case not, just you can imagine. So if you need to serve to a kid, and kid is just expressing some tantrum, what you will do, what kind of slices, say for example, this kid has to be served with 3 slices, what kind of slices you would choose initially?
Interesting.
Lights.
Interesting, with the good aroma and more tutti frutti in it, right?
Yes.
And say for example, you have to also rush for the office one generic fine day, and you are a couple, you are with say for example, your spouse is there, and inside home grandparents are also there. Okay. And grandparents have taken the responsibility to make the child ready, and then you come into discussion and you give the hint that okay, we can serve this child more interesting and having more tutti frutti into the slice and serve to that child. So what exactly you do, you are prioritizing some slices, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes. And when
So
you are
the bigger portion of the loaf, we try to eat first.
yeah. So again, not the bigger portion, I would say.
According to the demand of the child.
Yeah, so not the bigger portion, which is more interesting, more useful. Okay, useful. Let's use the word useful. And again, anything is bigger, then eventually you have to cut it more slicer, more thinner.
The small pieces.
Yeah, smaller pieces. So it may happen that some bigger requirement may come up, but again, your focus has to be make it more slicer, make it more thinner, make it more edible, make it more consumable. Okay, so and make it more easy. Then what you will do, and again, that tutti frutti is defining the highest priority, so it has to be consumed first. It will be easy to get it to the client. Your client is the kid, okay, and the client has various tantrum. Client asks for the moon and stars and whatnot, and everything cannot be served in the limited budget. Then what do? You somehow tell that okay, in this budget this will come, and its benefit is this. I know that you are going to need this, so that's the reason we are going to bring this in your plate. And the mother is facilitating every single thing as a scrum master, removing all the impediments. Product owner is bringing everything up from the customer, for the customer. Okay, and there is the team is in the execution process. The grandfather are helping you out to get this out, and they continue to give the feedback. Okay, bring that slice, bring those slice, pour some milk as well, and whatnot. Sometimes they give you some slices appear crunchier and all. I'm just trying to make it more simpler. And then once the moment 3 slices are consumed, the first delivery is done, you are ready for the next day. And you can take the feedback as well, how it's going, did it go well or not. In the retrospective, for the next period you are going to work, and you can connect with the client as the kid as well, and you can say that did he eat the first slide, is he going to eat the next slide, is he liking the the test and all, or test and all the things. So with this example, I have tried to make you to understand things in a more simplified manner with this example. I hope it is clearer how it is going to happen when we are talking about the, and is it clear to you all or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
So the bread loaf is the bigger requirement of a project. Slicing it down, breaking down the entire requirement into the smaller pieces. In the sprint planning meeting with the family member, when you are discussing the priority, what exactly customer want immediately, that you discuss. And then every single day you execute, and daily you discuss with each other what you did well, what you did. So remember this daily scrum in 3 words, 3 statements, I would say. Last state, next state, bottleneck. 3 terms. Last state, next state, bottleneck. Last state means last 8 hours what was done. Next state means next 8 hours what is going to be done. And bottleneck means if any impediments, that is going to be for Scrum Master to remove that. Okay, and once you do it daily, one fine day, you will increment that, you will deliver it that, and then you bring customer, you demonstrate to the customer that hey, we have delivered, we have made things ready for delivery. And just before incrementing, in fact, this happens. So just remember the very first photograph image that I had used. And once delivery is done, increment is done, then you hold a sprint retrospective meeting. Yes, Purvasha, you have any question?
Yes, sir. So is there any limit in the product backlog that this much requirement has to be there?
You are asking number of the requirement?
Yeah, number of the requirements. Because if the list is to be so long, then some task might get lost.
No, so that's the reason we have, make it more, thinner, means more consumable. And your product backlog is never never empty. Okay, it is always filled. The moment your product backlog is empty, it means your job is done. It means that you are out of the project. Okay, and depending upon how long the project would be, based on that, your number of requirement would be. But the purpose is not the number of requirement. The purpose is that every requirement should be doable and achievable and deliverable. Clear?
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. And sometimes, please, I'm so much passionate about this subject, so kindly excuse me if my tempo of my voice goes up, my sound. So sometime you need to just ignore that if it is more volume. So yeah, this is how my voice is. So
No,
let's.
it's all
Sir,
good.
we like that.
Thank you so much. So Scrum values, yeah. So Scrum values came in July 2016. Okay, and Scrum guide, I want to recommend all of you go ahead and give a visit to scrum.org. It's a website, and there you will find everything related to Scrum. Okay, so in 2016 the 5 values were included. Okay, and one is courage, second is focus, third is commitment, fourth is respect, and fifth is openness. Respect defines that you are really respectful to each and every team member. Kindly do not forget this. Okay, that because when you work in team, conflict is natural. Do you all agree with this? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So if conflict is natural, then you have to remember this code of not code of honor, the core value or Scrum value, that is bring respect. And then you will not simply shout. And in the corporate world, it is always means visible, and people means you become you are more vigilant. Okay, how you respond, okay, how you react, and how you perform. So, and the courage, these 5 things you're going to witness where easily in sprint planning meeting. Courage, are you courageous enough to take the ownership of a new task? Okay, are you focused enough to understand what is being imparted by the product owner as a goal of the broken down or pieces of the requirement? Are you focused enough to grab that? Are you committed enough to declare that you are going to take the ownership of these user story, and you are going to complete it as per the time? And while you are doing that and asking more question, and that requires courage again, you are also respecting others. Like someone of may not ask question, just thinking, hey, this question may sound silly. That might be sounding silly to you, but that will have the power to bring more value by asking simple question as well. So that value will be for the project. This is not for you. So whatever you are asking the question, don't think that you are asking for your own clarity only. That brings value to the table. That brings solution to the client. So question that you will ask now, that is going to help you tomorrow once you perform the actual project. Make more sense to you? Yes,
Yes, sir.
or yes? Yeah.
Yes.
So continue
Yes.
to embrace these values. Okay. And openness. So openness that you demonstrate where? You demonstrate into daily Scrum meeting as well. Okay. You are quite often open enough to talk about what has been done. If any impediment is there, something is not happening, why it is not happening, that you are going to say that. The moment you say about the why things have stopped, then a Scrum master's responsibility to bring bring more solution for that. So in a nutshell, here you see this is how in the scrum.org Scrum values have been defined. So I'll quickly read it out. Courage, I have explained in a very detailed manner, but what it says: Scrum team members have courage to do the right thing and work on tough problem. And from here it comes to say yes and take the ownership and accountability of requirement, that you can do that you should have the courage to commit. Okay, so commitment says people personally commit to achieve the goals of the Scrum team. So I gave you that example. You yourself take the ownership and you can say, okay, product owner, I want to take this user story. I want to work on this user story for analysis and design as a business analyst. I want to work on this project as a, I want to take the responsibility of testing this one. Okay, someone would say, I want to take the responsibility of coding this user story. So this is how you are committing. Everyone focuses on the work of the sprint and the goal of the Scrum team. You are not deviating from the goal. So that focus you must have. Scrum team members respect each other to be capable, independent people. So you are not going to doubt anyone that someone will not do some activity or it won't happen from them. And you will respect the moment they say that they want to do it and they will complete it without a doubt. You are just allowing others to take it. And the Scrum team and its stakeholders agree to be open about all the work and the challenges with performing the work. And that happens through daily Scrum that I explained. So I want someone to read these 4 bullet points for me, please. Benefits of a Scrum.
Benefits of Scrum: increase the quality of the deliverables, cope better with change and expect the changes, provide better estimates while spending less time creating them, be more in control of the project, schedule and state.
Thank you so much for reading this out. As a Scrum Master, as a product owner and a business analyst, you need to take care of this, that when you are practicing Scrum, are you getting these benefits of it or not? It means that automatically quality has to be increased. Okay, all the deliverable with the high quality is getting delivered. Okay, when you are business analyst, it is quite important to expect the change. Why you need to expect the change as a business analyst? Okay, let me give you some example. As a business analyst or as a team, you have delivered one software. Now, as a business analyst, the primary job is to gather the requirement, right? You will continue to gather the requirement and you explain the requirement, you simplify the requirement, and you discuss this requirement and make sure that requirement gets delivered to the customer. But there will be a time comes where the requirement has been fulfilled, but your business analysis eyes will sniff some changes as the time and the days are changing, how the digital approaches are advancing. You may suggest some changes. If all the requirements are delivered and if you're not able to suggest any change, what is going to happen?
It will be old-fashioned software then.
So, thank you for this answer, Afe. But again, listen it very carefully. Once,
so we're not delivering a quality product.
Okay, I just would reiterate what I asked. Suppose all the requirement you have delivered, your team has delivered, and in case you don't sniff the change, what is going to happen?
Customer will
value
come
of the
sometime and ask for it.
Yeah, can
okay,
you repeat
product
that?
value.
We
won't get any improvement.
You won't get any improvement. Now, listen it very carefully.
We want more perfection.
No, listen it very carefully.
No,
When
value. Okay, so so value of the product we will not reach that much value of that software what we are
value
working
addition
on.
would be there. That is one thing. Value addition would be there. That's okay. But my primary question you need to understand. My primary question, all the work done, you delivered all the requirement. In case you don't sniff the change as a business analyst, what will happen?
We won't get the future.
You won't get what?
Future
business will not be given to us.
Yeah,
You will
future
not get
business.
any future business. It means
Future
there will not be any
business.
work for you, right?
Yes.
You will be sitting idle because you have delivered
Mm.
all the requirement and you have not sniffed any changes. If you will sniff the change, you will suggest the change. When you suggest the change, there are chances you will expect the change in terms of agreement from the customer, and customer want this to be solved, right? When you suggest, there are chances then only customer will say, okay, I will do that. Otherwise, if you will be sitting idle, will you be get you are sitting idle, you are not doing anything, will you get paid
No.
if
No.
money is not coming? So by doing this kind activity of bringing the change, expecting the change, suggesting the change, and business analysts are responsible for that, change is good or bad?
It
Good.
is good actually.
It is good. Why? Why it is good?
It will
Get
fetch you more
Because it
business.
will bring more
It gives us opportunity to
more capital.
Get
close our-
more projects to us.
Okay, give it a right
And
name. Just don't say opportunity or
Get more capital.
okay.
just get
business. Sorry, business. Get
Business.
more
future
business.
business.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
profit.
so if you will not have the work, you will not get paid. But when you sniff the change, you will suggest the change and bring more change, accommodate the change, and suggest the change, and ready to work on those change. Then what happened?
Bring more revenue.
Future
More
business.
revenue, more
You'll-
money. You will
you'll
start
get more
continue to
business.
make more money,
Yeah.
guys. Yeah. So the idea is the change is cash. Can we say like that? The change is cash for business analysts.
So, sir, it doesn't mean like possibility to the project. I mean, for the extension will increase and we will
Extension
get
will
more.
increase, Ronak, but eventually you are going to get more cash, right? You will get the opportunity to earn
Yeah,
more.
that's how we'll get cash, right?
That's
If
how
the
we are going to
project
get cash.
extends. Yes,
So,
yes, yes.
so when it comes to change, don't get afraid. I just want to install this mindset and install this attitude because people are afraid of change. People look at more work and they want to make things finish. Okay, they want once it gets over, I'm done and dusted. I don't need to do that. But you are not looking at the another side. If it is done and dusted, there won't be ongoing cash flow. So cash flow is the main king. And to be with that king, you need to sniff the change. So change is equal to cash. So have this knack, have this attitude, and you will continue to welcome the change. And in fact, as a seasoned business analyst, you will get to see that you are sniffing the changes more, you are suggesting the change more. And this is the attitude every business analyst must have. Making more sense?
Yes.
And
Yes.
the way you will work, the way you will deliver the work, everything will change. Everything will in fact transform. So that's the reason I spend more time discussing about it. Rest all is better. Okay. So provide better estimates while spending less time creating them. That's all is the product owner is taking care of this. Be more in control of the project. You are the scrum master. You have to take care of that. If things are going out of control, you just raise the alarm to the product owner. Why things are going out of the time, decided time, why it is going beyond that. And while discussing this, what I realized, you know what, that I have spent more time onto this. So benefits of Agile as a customer, more responsive to request. Okay, when customer has to make sure all the information is going to product owner. High value feature, he would tell you that what he wants first, delivered more quickly with short cycle, because he will communicate this, then only the entire team can deliver that. Development team, enjoy development work because you are daily talking about in the daily stand-up. Work is valued and used, and you are giving the reasoning why you are working in this direction. So you are bringing value on the table. Reduce non-productive work, because you are always becoming more focused when you are talking about what you did do and what you are planning to do and why you could not, what you did not do. Okay, so that brings more productivity and transparency. And the Scrum Master making sure he is planning every task, every meeting, and for every daily meeting, tremendous awareness of the project state and status, how things are flowing, so that I can bring more awareness to every team member, what need to be done next and what is not being followed. Catching and addressing issues quickly, that has to be done by Scrum Master. Okay, so vendor has to be more focused, development on high value feature, because you will be not working alone, you will be not just working with customer, you might have some vendors. So vendor has to know the high valued feature, what is the priority on which requirement, so that the efficiency of their work will increase, reduce wastage and decreased overhead. The more clear and focused you will be, you will make sure that vendors are not spending time in unnecessary things. Product owner, development work aligns with customer needs, and that's product owner's responsibility. That alignment has to be maintained. Frequent opportunities to reprioritize work, because customer may continue to ask something, hey, do this, do that, can we do it later, can we do it further, can we do it faster, can we do it on priority. Likewise, because a product owner has to decide what has to go in the sprint backlog as a prioritized item. Okay, you are with me, everyone is with me so far? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And maximum delivery of value, as I say, you are not delivering the software, you are delivering the value. And PMOs and C-level executives, it means that high visibility of daily project development, your continuous as a product owner, through product owner and with customer, your entire PMO level is getting vigilant of how the work is going on, how fast working is going on, is there any problem into that, and adjust strategies based on hard information. As I say, be more more focused and firm towards the goal, but make your strategy flexible. Okay, plan effectively with less speculation. That's what I said in the earlier statement. Having said so, I have some comment. Okay, thank you so much for allowing the time. And I think here we should take a pause. Yeah. Is it okay? We can take a pause over here. We have just gone beyond time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
you're
We can
welcome. I
continue.
want from each one of you, go back and just give me your temperature of learning, that how did you find it today? Was it more easy to understand, relatable, and you could connect with this or not? Please type those things in WhatsApp, and I'm going to personally review each one of your response. Would you agree to do that, please, for me?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
that I can bring better
Yes.
value in the next training, that is
sir.
tomorrow. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful good night. And this is a few hours left with Sunday. We'll talk to you again on Monday.
Sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Looking
sir.
forward for your comments in the WhatsApp. Thank you. Bye. Good night.